Hey, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It's Saturday morning, November 4th, 2023. And just got a notification here on my phone that a package has arrived outside. So, supposed to arrive yesterday and something weird happened. I don't know. But anyway, it's here today, apparently. So, let's see. Look at the cats here. See the cats down there? They're here at the picture window on what was once an open porch that went all around the Hotel Orloff, but now it's enclosed. Anyway, the cats are here. Why? Because we don't have any heat. It's the boiler will not be fixed until Monday. Need a module or something, so they're keeping warm, ladies and gentlemen. See them there? How about that? Well, let's get this package. We're going to be going live this afternoon, and that should be great. I don't think I've done a live show in a couple of weeks, at least not one of my own live streams. I've been on some other people's live streams, and let's see. So here, buried in the leaves, is the package. All right. It says, fragile, handle with care. Thank you. Okay. It's actually not that cold today, but it can get cold at night. We haven't had the heat working since in a few days. And, it's gotten down to like 45 here inside the house. But we've got a space heater up in the attic that's kind of keeping us warm.
He's got a bearded face mask, so you can either go
Well, let's see. We're watching Comic Book Memories with Rod and Shannon here. It's Saturday morning. It is 10:32, and at noon I'm supposed to go live on this live stream. So this show probably definitely won't even be uploaded when I go live, but que sera, sera. So if you're watching this, you probably need to click on over, and I probably have a live show going on right now. All right, so let's I'm wearing a coat inside because it's a little chilly. It's probably about 50, 55 in the house right now. Oh, do I have scissors? Of course not. Okay. Use my car keys. I don't like using blades to open these packages. That is not something I do, because Drew the dog is very curious about what's in this package. And the other week, Captain Strangeliffe was having his Halloween broadcast. I think it was the 22nd Sunday night, and I went on. He wanted everyone to come on in costume, so I went on as this ghoul named Count Verga, and then everyone voted who had the best costume, and I came in third. And Micah, Graphic Man, won first prize, and I think PBR Street Gang won second prize, and they got to choose their prizes first, and luckily neither of them chose the prize that I wanted. So what I thought was the top prize actually went to the third place loser, being me. So this is the stuff. This is what I wanted, and this is quite a historic unboxing here in the Hotel Orloff. It's very very well packed. What is going to be in here? Let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, what is this, man? What is that? Oh, there was a Beatles song coming. That's what they said.
So, you know, and then like maybe 6 or 7 years later, George Harrison passed away. So I guess they figured Ringo and Paul, it was time to go out and discuss this with Oz, because that's like the last music that Yoko had given them from John, you know, just like a little cassette tape with him and piano. And they got on there and like sweetened it up with instruments and some vocals, and it was actually really good. There's like a little mini documentary and like a video where it showed like all the iterations of the Beatles all kind of singing together.
John Lennon did some songs on a cassette tape, and they tried, you know, John Lennon was killed, and then George Harrison died, and before Harrison died, they tried to take this particular song that Lennon had written and turn it into a Beatles song, but they didn't have the technology yet. So now using AI, they have isolated Lennon's vocals or something, and they've gone back into the studio, the two surviving Beatles, Paul and Ringo, and I have not heard the final result. I've heard the demo tape that Lennon did, but I haven't heard, you know, now that they've sprinkled their little fairy dust on it, and it's supposed to be the last Beatles song, you know, but is it really a Beatles song, you know, just done without John Lennon's real cooperation or approval? You know, did he really want his old mates to be performing on that song? Did he really think it was good enough to release? Who knows? Okay, so what I've got here is Hammer Films collection. Creatures the World Forgot, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, The Revenge of Frankenstein, Maniac, which is a Hammer Maniac, not the Maniac with Joe Spinell, Die, Die, My Darling, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, and The Snorkel. The only ones I've seen are the Creatures that the World Forgot and The Revenge of Frankenstein. Anyway, so I haven't seen the rest of these, so. Right, yeah, so there's 6 movies in this package. And this one has 5 films. The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, Scream of Fear, The Gorgon, I've seen The Gorgon, Stop Me Before I Kill, and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, which I believe was originally a double feature with The Gorgon. And I have, those are the only 2 I've seen, The Gorgon and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. I don't think I saw The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. I saw Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, where Dr. Jekyll turns into Martina Beswick. I've seen that was a Hammer movie. Yeah, it was a different one. All right, so this is part of the prize that I won for having the worst costume. And here's what I was excited about that. This is what I'm really excited about. Trapped within this. It's an original EC comic book. So, which I don't have many EC comic books. Oh wow, look at this, man. How strange. Oh, anyway, sorry. Well, I guess you want to see it. The Haunt of Fear. What I was saying is strange is that, let me get into some better light. Yeah, I should do this upstairs. I've got, what was, oh, my car keys fell. Well,
Where I could have shelves and stuff like that. But down here, the cats get down here, you know, they might chase mice or something.
what I was noticing is that, I guess, I see what it is. At some point in a used bookstore, the 10-cent price was scratched out, and then they put a stamp, a 25-cent stamp on the R there. So that was when it was a valuable collector's item. So they more than doubled the price at some point. Anyway, this is, I'll get better light upstairs. It's Haunt of Fear number 25. So I don't have many ECs, man, so I was excited about this. I've got some other books I need to take upstairs. Let me grab them here. Off this pinball machine.
Just don't do it down here. If it falls down here, it'll break. Sorry,
we can watch Comic Book Memories upstairs. Oh, I need to get my phone charger. This is going to be a short broadcast. There's Drew the dog. Hello, Drew the dog. How are you doing?
Hey, Grandman.
Hey, welcome, sir. Friend from across the pond. Another friend from across the pond.
All right.
This morning, sir. Hanging out. Hey, Mike, see how it says the average student says, howdy, Grandman. Dr. Von Schiller says,
Well, as soon as the Comic Book Memories show is over, I'm going to switch over to Right Side Broadcasting because Trump's going to be speaking today, and I'll be monitoring that while I do this live stream this afternoon. Yeah, it's cold. Let's see how cold it is, man. Right now it is looks like it's right at 60 degrees here in the lobby of the Hotel Orloff. Shit. Okay. I'm getting the low battery warning. Okay, got the extension cord. Come on, you. So, Halloween night, I planned to watch some horror movies with my wife, and I was invited to go on Horror Mike's live stream, and so I said, yeah, I can go on, but I really can't go on for more than half an hour. I wound up being on there like 2 hours. I really didn't mean to, and you know, that didn't go over too well because, you know, it was Halloween and my wife wanted to spend it with me, and so the next night I planned every Wednesday I always go on the Graphic Man's 4-color fossils, and you know, I didn't want to ditch her 2 nights in a row, so I told Micah I just can't go on tonight because yeah, so that stunk. So I tend to take the air out of live stream broadcasts because I think my opinions and my politics tend to upset people. Shit. All right, trying to get some light here. Okay, so what am I supposed to be doing here? Okay. The Haunt of Fear. It says on the back, oh, this is Hans's writing. Number 25, 1954, good minus. Complete spine split. Is taped from top to bottom and reattached to book. Okay. Well, it's Christmas time, man. Finally. I've had my Christmas tree up since probably spring. But I'm hearing, everywhere I go, I'm hearing people talking about, I've already put my Christmas tree up, which is normally weird. Normally, people put it up, around Thanksgiving. Right after Thanksgiving, people put up their Christmas tree. And even then, some people consider that kind of early. I know some people get their Christmas tree just a couple of days before Christmas. Every family has their own different weird traditions, but anyway, this year it's like everyone's doing it. Everyone's putting it up super early because I think everyone wants just some bit of normalcy because everything's obviously so horribly messed up that, brink of war, World War III and stuff, and people just want, people have been through all kinds of weird nightmares in the last couple of years. People just want, hey, bring on Christmas. So, I don't feel weird having that Christmas tree up. So if I don't have a Christmas tree on this level, that is a problem. Okay, let me see what we got here, man. I'll give you these auto seat covers as a bonus. Who's talking here? It looks like a word balloon, but it looks like the car seat's the one talking, not this school teacher. I got into some debate with Horror Mike on that Halloween broadcast about, he was thinking that EC comics weren't really as good as they were cracked up to be, that the imitators of EC were actually better. And I said, well, the imitators are great, but EC was the top dog, so, And then it was the classic debate that comic books aren't really meant for children, and it's like, and I guess you could say, well, look, there's an ad for car seat covers. Children don't have cars. When I say children, I include teenagers in that, and teenagers had cars and hot rods and stuff. But anyway, oh yeah, this is in much better condition than the EC comics that I am used to handling. But it still has a very delicate feel. All the EC comics that I have ever handled always feel very delicate, like they'd been read a whole lot. Which, of course, they were. Do people laugh at you for reading comic books? Wonderful. So this cover was at one time completely detached. And, this mending tissue that Hans always talks about, I see a little bit of it. You can barely see it there. It's now you can fly a real jet plane. Well, obviously this comic book was meant for adults because only adults fly jet planes. So this is proof that EC comics were read exclusively by adults. Anyway, I think I'm too much of a butthole to be on live streams other that aren't my own live stream. Because I'm just too irascible, man. I'm just too incorrigible. All right, Haunt of Fear with a beautiful coloring of Marie Severin on the cover. So, this is what the loser gets for wearing the worst costume. I should put this in my EC box. Let's get the EC box out. What time is it, man? I gotta watch the time. Hey, I was good. It's almost 11. I'll watch the rest of Comic Book Memories later. Let's see, EC Comics. Come on. This is driving me mental, man. Where would that be? Oh, here it is. It's over here. Okay. So I have ACG Comics and EC Comics in this. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to talk about comic books during today's live stream. I'm getting sick of I don't want this to be a comic book show. There's so much more. I don't know, man. They were showing Gasp a little bit ago, and the Comic Book Memories show. This is the only copy I have of Gasp. Okay. Now, in the early 70s, they reprinted these EC comics like this, and you can tell because they'll say $1.50, and they have back covers that look like that, and they were put out by East Coast Comics, 1975. This is one of the later ones they did, and they used the original art and everything, because Gaines kept all the original art. And so this is Shock Suspense Stories, number 2, and they reprinted a few. They also reprinted number 12. So on the back it looks like this. And this one doesn't even have a price on the cover. But they were sold. I got these when Lone Star Comics first opened in summer of '77 in Arlington, Texas. Okay, well, it was a series called EC Classic Reprint, and this is EC Classic Reprint number 3. So they were done in order. I think this was the first one they did, The Crypt of Terror. EC is back. So this would have been 20 years after these comics, after this company stopped publishing the horror comics and went and just kept, it kept going. EC was still in business in 1973, 74, 75 when these were being done. It was just exclusively publishing Mad, which started as a comic book in the EC line. So, this is Weird Science number 12, part of the reprint line. But this is EC Comics reprint number 11. It's the 11th one they reprinted. Has this great story, Lost in the Microcosm. Yeah, great. Okay, this is a reprint of The Haunt of Fear number 23. And then the one I just got in the mail a few seconds ago is Haunt of Fear number 25. On the back was a pinup of the Old Witch. Ghastly Graham Ingalls cover. I was trying to point out in our debate on Halloween night is that the stories, the writing was so great in these. I mean, the twist endings were Rod Serling quality. I mean, these were great to the point where Ray Bradbury was a fan, even though they were without his permission doing his stories, and then he kind of caught on and said, hey, he wrote him a letter and said, hey, I really enjoyed your adaptation of my story in your latest issue, Weird Science or whatever, but I think the check has kind of not gotten to me. Could you write another? And he said, I'd like to continue cooperating with you in the future because I love your adaptations. It's just, pay me. And that's how that works. They have a 2-page spread for EC merchandise. This is a book I still want after all these years. And this shows portfolios and the issue of the Monster Times that was all about EC, and these posters of uncensored covers and a T-shirt you could get because it was if you were 10 years old when this comic came out, you're now 30, and they're reprinting, and you're it was the kids that read these were the baby boomers. There were a lot of them. So these are the EC reprints from East Coast Comics, and this one was $1. Reprint of Two-Fisted Tales 34. Now, this was Harvey Kurtzman production, and so he has this kind of lettering, which is the type lettering that you would expect in good comics today. So he would always use that in the comics that he did, and the comics that also the Mad line, because that was his comic as well, as opposed to the other comics that EC did had this kind of machine-looking lettering, which is I've seen how it's done, but there was a couple that did this for William Gaines's, the publisher's father, and when he inherited the business, he didn't want to fire them. He didn't like the lettering either, but so he continued with it. Yeah, they did more of these reprints than I guess I'm realizing. Here's the Vault of Horror 26. Pretty sure I have every one of them. If it's bagged and boarded, you can immediately identify it as a reprint from the 70s because of the dollar price tag, which was expensive in the 70s. $1 is what you'd be paying for a magazine, so it was clear that this is aimed at a collector's audience, because comics were probably a quarter, or let me see what year this one is. 74. Yeah, comics were just going up from 20 cents to 25 cents, regular comics. This wasn't sold in the newsstand. This wasn't sold in a 7-Eleven. These reprints, you could get a mail order through the back of Famous Monsters and Creepy and Eerie, the Captain Company, or you could get them at comic stores. I don't know where else you'd get them. Probably head shops, wherever you got underground comics. That's actually where they'd be sold. So that's probably its main distribution points, because the hippies of the '60s read this stuff as kids. Artist of the issue, George Evans, laying there dead at his drawing table. I love this stuff. And there's two more. This one is a reprint of Weird Fantasy 13. And this is a great story. I was talking about this the other night on Horror Mike's show, The End, by Wally Wood. It has Home to Stay. Oh, this is just a killer issue. Weird Fantasy is a great comic all around. And they had a convention in 1972. That's where you see the EC Lives buttons and shirts. It was an EC Comics convention. Yeah, it's great. And then the last one that they reprinted in that time period of the early 70s is The Haunt of Fear. And one of the things, there's a profile of Johnny Craig. One of the things that was I have no idea what I'm saying. One of the things that I lost my train of thought. Oh, one of the things that caused the resurgence of interest, one of the things was the Tales from the Crypt Amicus anthology horror movie that came out in '72 and was successful. And then, you know, people wrote, this movie's based on these old horror comics, and people said, oh yeah, I remember those comics. And they also did a sequel, The Vault of Horror. Here's a EC Comics sampler from Free Comic Book Day. Yes, indeed. This isn't old. This is 2008. I guess that's old. I don't know what's old. Man, I've been going through a living nightmare the last, what has it been, a month or so? I'm having all these trouble at the base of my spine, the inner part of mostly my right knee. I'm walking around like, it's not real bad right now, but I'm walking around like Frankenstein. I'm thinking I better get a cane. It's arthritis. I don't know. I explained what's going on with my knee to someone I work with, and she said, oh, that's what happened to my mother. Looks like she had to get an artificial knee, but then after that, she did great, you know. Or they can inject you with the long syringe, and it's supposed to last 3 months, but it doesn't really last that long. It's like, oh, gee, thank you for that wonderful news. But, you know, these later reprints from, they would say things like, famous 1950s EC Comics, and this is from like the 90s, it's $2.50. This stuff, there's tons of these, because Tales from the Crypt being on HBO, they reprinted, and now supposedly these are going up in value. These wonderful reprints, which I didn't buy as many. I should have, because I had all the big hardcover box sets, and so I wasn't buying all of these. See, it says Notorious 1950s EC Comics. There were one company printed them, these reprints, and that company was oh, this is Gemstone. I said this is actually Disney that printed these, I believe. Yeah, Disney was printing these EC Comics for a while. See, the nostalgic 1950s EC comics. Yes, indeed. Sometimes they print like 2 issues in one. Oh, well, that's Gemstone. This is Gladstone. Gladstone was the Disney. Or were they both? I don't know. Sometimes they publish these real thick ones. You know, 64 pages of vintage EC horror. I have just the cover of this original issue, and I was looking around because I thought it was hanging on the wall, or it's here somewhere where I could compare the original cover with this reprint. But anyway. Yeah. 64 pages of vintage EC horror. The only problem is then they put these UPC codes on them. I like how he's drooling right into the UPC code, you know. It's, but oh well. What can you do? See, this is the original way the cover was supposed to be in the 50s, but they altered it at the last minute and put a kind of a glow there. But originally it should have been published this way. But when they reprinted it, they published it this way. So I think this one has more value to collectors because this is like the first time it was published with the original gore. Okay, I've got some original ECs in here, and I'm trying to put that with them. Oh, and sometimes they put out these big, thick ones in the 90s. Or was this the 90s? Man, what the hell does that? What the heck does that say? 1994. Yeah, I think they bound together issues that maybe. Yeah, they bound together issues that didn't sell. But this is a cool way to get them, you know, just a big set. Yeah. And then they do weird stuff, you know, because Tales from the Crypt is what was selling because it was on HBO. Tales from the Crypt presents the Vault of Horror. So they could get Tales from the Crypt on the cover. Look at how obnoxious. The UPC code is as big as the coffin, you know. It really detracts from it, but anyway, you can get access to these wonderful stories, you know. So sometimes they would objectionable 1950s EC comics, they try to sell them as being, you know, controversial. So, and they're trying to sell the VHS of Tales from the Crypt TV show. Oh, wait a second. This is another one. I'm sorry. This is another one of the early 70s reprints that I didn't show you. This one I got more recently because I bought it at Duncanville Books. That's what that sticker means. Okay, so let me put that with those. Is it 11? I got to make sure my wife's doing okay upstairs real quick. Okay, well, I'll just put this on if you're in here, so it'll be safe. Oh, let me show you something. Be careful on this. See this? This is one of those reprints from the early 70s of this Weird Science. At some point, someone did a kind of a salute to that cover with an adaptation of Richard Matheson's original novel, The Shrinking Man, that became the movie The Incredible Shrinking Man. The movie The Incredible Shrinking Man is fantastic. Okay. The novel that Richard Matheson wrote is, of course, wonderful, fantastic. But this adaptation is really shitty, so don't avoid this unless you just want it because it's got an EC salute cover. Just thought I'd warn you about that. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. Well, there's a movie playing a block away, a couple blocks away at the theater, a Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. I was interested in seeing it and realizing we need to be careful with our finances. I really can't afford to be going to a movie, we just so so we may, yeah. And my wife's not going to be available to go to it either. So, oh, speaking of, I need to. Let's see. Let me see how she's doing. Ow! When I stand up, my knees crack, and I go, ow. Sometimes I say worse things than that. Jeez. Hold on. Let me just set you guys down. I'll be back. Love you. I'll pray. Come on, Drew. Come on, Drew. Drew. I'm coaxing Drew the dog down out of the attic, and I've got to close the door to the attic. So my wife is going to be working, and the dog barking would not be a good thing. Come here, Drew. Drew. Drew, come here. You want to go on a walk? Drew, walk. She's not listening. She's not cooperating. She's coming. Meantime, let's look in here. Okay. All right, Drew the dog. Okay, now I promised her a walk. Okay, well, I've got to be a man of my word. So, we had an unboxing today. We saw that I got an issue of Haunt of Fear. I think my other EC originals are in my boxes where I keep the real old Golden Age and Uranium, Atomic Age, Eisenhower Age stuff. All right. Might as well go outside. It's probably warmer out there than in here. Okay. Oh, comic book memories must have ended. So, yeah, it looks like it. All right, so I'll go to President Donald J. Trump.
North Korea.
Oh, this a-hole. Well, Trump's going to be the last speaker. This is some Florida thing in Florida. Moron. Okay. I don't think I used to hate him, but I hate him now. Look at the cats, man. Keeping warm. Guys, you only have to do it another 48 hours, and we'll have, hopefully, the boiler working, man. Look at these roller skates I got from the 1940s. How about that? You like that? Some friends of mine were cleaning out their attic, and I got 2 pairs of vintage roller skates for a girl from the 40s, and a bunch of old magazines and all kinds of, nothing that remarkable that, I can build a show about, but, I like old stuff, man. I am a human trash can, human garbage disposal. Send me all your old junk and I'll love it, man. I'm not too proud to admit that. Well, all the leaves fell off the trees here in Rural Retreat, Virginia. A few leaves left there. So there'll be a live stream. Meyer Greenblatt will be returning after being absent from YouTube for a couple of months. He says he'll come on, and I'm hoping I'll get Kevin Johnson from Gotham City Comics to come on, because he's been getting some really great facsimiles of 1950s pre-code horror comics, and who knows what he's gotten in at his store. Haven't spoken with him on the show in a while, and just chat with him through Instagram chat. And Gary Davis is going to be coming on, man. I talked with him for a couple hours the other night, and I talked to Meyer for a few hours, because I was needed company. My wife was busy working up in the attic, and yes, indeed. Well, we had a lot of trick-or-treaters the other night. That was fun. That was last Sunday. The trick-or-treating was on Sunday here instead of actually on Halloween night, which is why I was able to go on Horror Mike's show. But any day that Donald Trump gives a speech is a great day. Any day you get an original EC comic in the mail and Hammer movies is a great day. And I'm not in horrific pain at the moment. So that's good. I just moved my neck and heard cracking. It's just like, I don't know, man. Anyway, let's take a walk down here, Drew. It's actually pretty nice out here. Come on, Drew. maybe there'll be some startling guest stars on our live broadcast this afternoon. Who knows who will drop by? Come on, Drew. She wants to go this way. By the way, please subscribe to this channel. That would be nice if you did that. No other comic book channel gives you this kind of content where I walk the dog during the broadcast and tell you how much I hate the comic book community. Except I don't hate you guys, but 97% of the comic book community is scum. Yes. And probably, yes, that's probably accurate. But we here in the Kratu Orloff Army stand strong. All righty. We're walking over to the train depot. Oh, my wife was up in the attic the other day. I wasn't home. She said she heard a music box like several times. So she said it was like dark shadows. So maybe we do have some ghosts after all. But that's the cool kind of ghost, man. Where you hear old music boxes. Yeah, those are the dignified, cool Victorian ghosts that you want to have. I was trying to think what could have caused that. Could the cuckoo clock have suddenly been activated? And I think, well, that's really not possible, unless a ghost did it. Here's the old train depot. There used to be train tracks right here. They're gone. And there were train tracks on the other side too. Here's a little place you can eat and have barbecues. It's made like an old caboose. You see that? I have no idea whether you can even see because I'm pointing the camera blindly. Let's go over and look at that, Drew. She doesn't listen to me. Story of my life. What are you smelling, Drew? Apparently, there's a character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer named Drusilla. That is what I've been told by my wife. And she named the dog Drusilla, after that character. So, I don't know much about that. I mean, I've liked the episodes I've seen of that show, but I've never watched it for long stretches.